Hi, I'm Jacinda Coonahan and you're watching Coast Community News 5 at 5, November 13th. New council developments have come out this week, so let's go to David who has more on this.
Yes, the council saga does roll on, and now Administrator Dick Person has taken his place. We're 14 days almost into his administration period, and that means there's another couple of weeks to go before he reports on the 30-day report to get to the bottom, to get to the devil in the detail of what's happened to the finances in Central Coast Council. Though this week he had an impromptu quick call council meeting where he announced that the council, that he's arranged a $50 million loan. Where he has attained that loan has not been revealed as yet, although his media release did say that it was from a respected financial institution. You notice I clicked there. I didn't know there were any left. Anyway, other things were that asset sales have been announced. That is to say, there is apparently a list of $30 million of assets that the council owns, which will be up for sale to try and plug that projected $90 million deficit. Now, apparently, after questioning from Central Coast newspapers, that will not include the COS lands. The COS lands are the coastal open space system. That is to say, a lot of the bushland associated with close to housing around the Central Coast. That will be safe, at least for now. Read all about this in today's Coast Community News. One other last thing was the administrator did say that up to 10 residents will be able to address council prior to the formal council meetings on any topic that is pertinent to council. So if you're interested in addressing council, that is to say the administrator, because remember the administrator is council now, you can address him before the meetings. Presumably there'll be quite a lot to talk about, so get in early if you want to do that. And that's it from me. Thanks, JC. See you later.
Thanks for that, David. A contentious development in Kariong, close to the sacred land of Bambara, has prompted Indigenous and non-Indigenous community groups to join forces in opposing a development by Darkinjung Local Aboriginal Land Council. We spoke to the CEA spokesperson, Jake Kassar, about his concerns.
Well, what we've heard from the state government is that this development is progressing towards the gateway determination, which eventually will be decided by the planning panel. Our concern is the extremely contentious situation that we've got here, that you've had all of this alleged illegal clearing of several hectares, including koala habitat. We found out recently that at least one Aboriginal site was uncovered during that process. I've just gone up there, not on their land, but you can see it from a distance. It's several hectares of clearing, and you can see that the felled trees haven't even been moved. So for them to survey this, to investigate this alleged illegal clearing, they would have had to have had X-ray vision. This thing is progressing off the back of incomplete and, to put it nicely, questionable reports.
There has been a major milestone for Gosford's affordable social housing. Parliamentary Secretary for the Central Coast, Adam Crouch, was at the topping out ceremony earlier today, down at 23 to 25 Young Street in West Gosford.
Be here on site at West Gosford, 56 affordable housing units being delivered in this brilliant project being built by our own local North Constructions. These are these game-changing projects that we're seeing being delivered right across the Central Coast from one end to the other. Yeah, well, the reality is that affordable housing is a state government responsibility, not a council one, and the state government is absolutely dedicated to delivering more affordable housing for people, again, not just here on the Central Coast, but right across the state. The New South Wales state government has delivered the biggest infrastructure investment in affordable housing in the state's history, and we are so proud of that, and we are not going to stop. We talk about empowering our Aboriginal communities. Well, the state government's actually stepped forward and done that by giving the Darkinjung their own SEP, and talking with Matthew West and the rest of the guys at the Darkinjung, they're obviously very keen to keep capitalising on investment here on the Central Coast.
COVID-safe Remembrance Day services were held around the Central Coast on Wednesday to mark the 102nd anniversary of the Armistice that ended the First World War in 1918. This year also marks the 100th year of the Celtic Cross War Memorial in the grounds of the Gosford Anglican Church. We spoke to historian Meryl Jackson about her inspiration behind the poppy display she created for the anniversary.
I designed this display because of COVID, basically. I knew that the Remembrance Day services would be altered And I also, at the beginning of this year, had a good look at our memorial at the front, and it was the Celtic Cross Memorial. It was established here in 1920, is the first Great War memorial of the central of Gosford, actually, not the Central Coast, but of Gosford, the very first one erected. And I thought it was important to preserve its history and to do something special for its centenary.
We actually still have the letters. The priest at the time, Arthur Rennick, wrote to the families who had lost their sons in the war, and we actually have the letters that the mothers wrote back giving permission for their names to go on. And even after 100 years, you still weep when you read these letters. The pages are soaked in the grief. And so for this parish, 30 young men died.
Let's go to Hayley for sport and weather.
Thanks, JC. Central Coast Oztag has done it again, dominating the field at Australians Oztag New South Wales Senior State Cup. CCO went into the revamped contest as a force to be reckoned with 15 teams in the mix and going for the gold. And there was gold aplenty, with 10 teams making it into their grand finals and 6 coming away with the win. The men's 40s, 45s, 50s and 55s, as well as its senior women's and men's Opens Division 2 teams all won, setting the club up to take the year's club championship for the second year running. And the Mariners club legend and all-time leading scorer Matt Simon will remain with the club for the A-League 2020-21 season, as coach Alan Stajic bolsters the senior ranks of his squad. The 34-year-old striker hinted at another season after the Mariners' draw with the Wanderers in the post-COVID restart, and has now confirmed he will return in a playing capacity and also as a mentor for younger players as part of a dual role. Simon, who played his junior football at East Gosford, has scored 51 goals in 194 appearances for the Mariners since making his debut in the 2006-07 season.
Perhaps for the Mariners, after being second best for much of the...
And moving on to the weather. This weekend is going to be a hot one, with Saturday being sunny and topping 25 and light winds becoming southeasterly 15 to 20 kilometres in the early afternoon, then becoming light in the late afternoon. Sunday will be 27 and sunny, with light winds becoming northeasterly 15 to 25 kilometres during the day, then tending northerly during the evening. Back to you, JC.
Thanks, Hayley. Usually small regional bus stops don't get official openings, but this one in Wagstaff was treated a little differently. Let's take a look.
And he's got me in his eyes. When he looks at me, I go weak at the knees. He's got me going like no other guy. This is my...
All of these stories and thousands more are available on our news website. And remember to pick up a copy of this week's Coast Community News, Pelican Post and Coast Community Chronicle. Please subscribe to our socials YouTube channels, Instagram and Facebook page for updates during the week. We leave you with a chat today we had with local artist, musician, music video creator, makeup artist and costume designer Benjamin Fraser, whose music video The Bonnie Banks of Loch Lomond by Ella Roberts has reached nearly 7 million views on YouTube. He told us about the diverse creative community on the Central Coast and how proud he is to be a part of it. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday 13th. See you next week.
Leave me a message. Hey, this is Benjamin. Leave me a message. I love making music videos a lot for people. A lot of aversion towards makeup because it was maybe stereotypically homosexual, and I'm a flamboyant camp person in many ways, but had a lot of shame surrounding that as a child. When getting into makeup, it was then a nice way to reclaim something that I'd felt was like I deserved to be bullied for being so feminine or something, you know, like. I just finished a music video with my friend Ella. I've been making lots of videos for her.
By young bonny banks and by young bonny rays, where the sun shines bright on Loch Lomond, where me and my true love will never meet again. On the bonny